Hello, everyone. This is Bill Dannenhauer here with Ballin with Bill. I have a nice special guest here today from Papillion South High School. Known him for a long time. I appreciate Sideline Power sponsoring this program today, for coming at you. Tim Clemenger from Papillion South. I knew him all the way back in, I think he was high school, played for Gene Sir, so I've known him for quite a while. So welcome to the show.
Coach, appreciate you having me.
I appreciate you coming,
Yeah,
man.
glad to see you back on your feet and you're feeling well. That's good. Good deal.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I know you played for Gene, so tell me how you got started playing ball and what you did with after you played high school and all that stuff.
I was born and raised in Papillion, and K through 12 all the way through Papillion schools and stuff. So I had the opportunity to play for Coach Sir. That was a great experience. He taught me a lot, weight room and obviously on the field and leadership and all that stuff. So right after high school, had the chance to go down to Peru State College and played football down there. Overall, I had a really good experience. Some highs and some lows. We freshman year went 8-2, had a good year, and then that coach left. Next year, 5-5, and then that coach left. So we were on our third coach in 3 years, and that was tough. Lost out on some recruiting and spring ball and stuff. So junior year wasn't so good, but we bounced back and had a good senior year. And throughout that whole time, just learned a lot about coaching and 3 different coaches in 3 years and a lot of different experience and stuff. So right after that, I had the opportunity to come back and work for Coach Sir. I'll take that back. I stayed 1 year as an assistant coach at Peru State.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Who was the head coach when you stayed?
Terry Clark.
Oh, Terry was there. That's when Terry was there.
Little known fact, so I coached defensive backs, and we played Dana College that year. I think it was 05, and that was it was at the end of the year. So you guys just set that record the week before. So I was the DB coach that had to get ready for you guys after you threw 110 passes or whatever it was. And subsequently that game was a mess. I don't know. That was a game afterwards.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were Coach Clark.
Yeah, we got into it a little. The kids got into it after the game.
I was almost off the field and had to come back there and try to get everybody broken up.
That was a mess.
Parents were on the field. It was a mess.
Yeah.
So we had a Mardi Gras, baby.
Yeah, that was my 1 year coaching college, and then I was able to get in with Coach Sir at Papillion-La Vista, and it was awesome to have the chance to play for him and then to coach with him. I don't think too many guys had that opportunity. So finished out his last 2 years, and then Coach Govier's first 2 years at Papio. So I was there 4 years, and then jumped ship and jumped into OPS.
That's right.
And Omaha Northwest with Herman Colvin as principal, and so I was there for a handful of years, and then I've been at Papio South now for a handful of years. So that was my path.
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot all about that game.
Oh yeah, it was two teams with 2 rough seasons, and I think it was the last game of the year.
It was,
and it was just it wasn't good on either side. I remember that.
No, it wasn't. I remember we had to pull parents off and everything. And I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, you guys won on the scoreboard that game. I remember that. And then some of our guys were trying to win after the game.
Right with the post game.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think the world of Coach Sir. Known him a long time. I remember when I was a young person. Finished up at UNO. He just got the job at Papillion, and I'm always very impressed with him and what he could do and how hard he worked, and and the consistency and how he adapted the players really well. So, okay, that's a great background, and then you get Coach Govier. I know is a great teacher too. So now you get all that. So how do you go to Omaha Northwest? That's a tough job when you went there. It wasn't like it was back in the day, but
right.
So what did you do to get that program started? What did you do to bring in your kind of what you learned about being a head coach and how you rebuild that program?
There were some challenges there, but when you're young and ambitious and want to tackle the world, you're ready for it. Started there as an assistant. It was a chance at the age of I think I was 25 or something. I was ready, or I thought I was ready to be a defensive coordinator. So I went over there and was an assistant for a couple years, and then took over as head coach. And
Who was the head coach?
Damon Benning.
That's right, Damon was there. Okay.
So jumping into that role, it was yeah. You sort of learn on the run a little bit. You reach back to some of the things that you learned as a player yourself. But then one thing I just learned pretty quick, you got to be yourself, and you got to do the things that you believe in and what makes sense to you. So bringing all those things, from Coach Sir, those three coaches that I had in college, and all that, I think played into building that philosophy.
So what kind of a philosophy did you start with there to get? Because I know that was the biggest thing, is get the kids on the field, out of the classroom, and all that stuff there, because that they had an issue that before Damon and you guys all got there.
Yeah, I mean, football is about numbers, and I mean, even here at Papillion South, we're still always trying to build numbers, and I guess create an environment where the kids are enjoying what they're doing. If they're not enjoying what they're doing, then they're not going to come out and play. So we had to give them a reason to come out. So we did some different things on offense and defense and special teams, but especially on offense, we'd try to spread it out and try to do some things to get the ball to our playmakers. We were able to have a couple kids, two twins. They signed up at South Dakota State, and so we had a couple good players, and just try to get the ball to them. And but biggest thing on something like that is just is having that vision and trying to get kids and coaches and community to buy into that. And it's easy to say that, or it's easy to put it on a poster. It's harder to really
to drive it in the hearts
on the day-to-day thing. When it's tough sledding and you're down on the scoreboard, or it's going through a losing streak. It's tough, but I still look back to those kids and got a lot of respect for them as young people, and just all that character that was built.
Yeah, I think you did a nice job there. Then you left, and then you became defensive coordinator again for Papillion South, right?
Yes. Yep. Had a
Who was your now? I'm trying to remember the head coach.
Coach Olson, Walt
Olson.
Olson. Yeah, and that was a huge reason for
because you had some experience with them in the past too.
A little bit, just through getting to know each other at clinics and stuff, but really we had never coached together. But having that strong, stable guy there that I knew I could learn from, a guy with multiple state titles and a lot of wins under his belt, and just a lot of experiences. That's exactly what. After doing it on my own for a few years, it was a cool thing to go learn from him.
Yeah. What'd you pick up from Coach Olson other than the good Keno game?
Yeah. A lot of stories, and but I tell you, he just how he's able to sort of do what I was just talking about, having a vision and then connecting people to that vision. I think that was a huge thing. He just has a toughness about him that resonated with the kids, and he was able to weave that in with the weight room, and then it got onto the field. So another thing was just his work ethic, and nobody outworked him. And between the kids to the student managers to the trainers to the coaches, everybody, he set the tone when it came to that stuff. So those are some things that I picked up from him.
I bet, because I've known Coach Walt a long time.
Yeah.
He's a character, and I remember back when he played at Midland too.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And I had a good career there for them, and then of course that's his nephew that plays in the NFL that we see that's tight end.
Yep.
So I know that, the good football family.
Yep.
So now that you've got all this experience, and then then I know you became the head coach at Papillion there south.
Yep.
So what kind of, now that you're there and you got a good opportunity, and so what did you start doing to keep it going and build that program up that you've done?
Yeah, I think under Coach Olson we
because I know he's a big weight room guy too.
Yep. We didn't feel like we had to change a lot of stuff at all. One thing that was has been there for a long time, and I think one thing that we've just tried to continue to enhance was our youth program. At Papillion South, we're a little different than other metro high schools where they can get transfers and kids will bounce around and stuff. In our district, you got to live in our district to go to school, so we can't accept kids from other communities. So our youth program's so important. So we're literally growing our kids, and we get to know them when they're in third grade and all the way up through. So to us, that's huge. I think we, over the last couple of years, we just tripled down on that, and really built relationships with the coaches, the parents, and the kids there. So it's taken a while. It's a slower process than getting a transfer from here or there, or picking off a kid here or there. But I gotta believe, I just believe that it's going to be a solid foundation, investing all this time and energy into those kids. So that's the biggest thing.
Oh, good. So I mean, that's an important part of your program, that Titan program, and that you guys call it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that is. And you guys have had some success getting those kids through there and getting them up to your program and everything. So.
Yep. Well, and we're starting to, we've always done a summer camp. I think everybody does that, and then just the last 2 years, we've done some stuff in the spring where we're not trying to compete with baseball and basketball and those other sports, but we're just offering a couple things, we call them spring academies in April, and just starting that a couple years ago, I was really, and then seeing where we're at now with some of those kids that came through that, it's been pretty cool. So, our fifth graders, our sixth graders, seventh graders, and even they're having success on the field. I'm not saying that spring academy is the one thing, but I think just constantly tapping into them and getting them thinking about football and giving them a goal. I think it's going to pay off. Like I said, it's more of a slow burn, but we got kids coming up, and we're pretty excited about it.
Oh, so tell me a little bit about the academy. What goes on there when you guys are doing that? These kids?
I mean, we bring our varsity coaches down and our and a lot of our varsity players, and it's heavily skill based. So it's not quite a camp. I still think it's more of a skills academy. So throwing and catching a lot of balls. We take the linemen and we do a lot of line stuff. We have a little bit of fun too. We'll weave in some games and flag football and stuff like that. But we try to take the football skills that these kids are going to need down the road, and then feed them a little bit at a time on these academies. So it's pretty cool.
Good deal. So that what age does that start? Fifth grade, or what does the?
We started all the way third grade.
Okay.
And we did 3 Sundays in April, and and our goal was not to make money off it. Our goal was to keep it as cheap as possible. We were trying to really target really 3 different kids. The type of kid who's like all in on football. I mean, that's what he does, and he can't live without it. Obviously, getting that kid there, that'd be cool. We're trying to also tap into that kid that might be a multi-sport kid that is a really, really good baseball player, and he's thought about football. Well, come out, 3 Sundays in April, and just we charge $25 is all, and so just try it out. And then we also we're targeting that kid that's never played football, that doesn't do anything, that's your big kid that he might be in 4th grade, but darn well, we see it all the time. Juniors in high school, 6'4", 300 pounds, walking the hall, and he's never played football before.
Yeah.
And so
never
we try
touched with it or anything.
Yeah. So we try to tie those guys in early and give them a shot to see if they like it. And it's only $25. So with masks and this stuff, we'll see if we're able to get it going again this spring. But it's been good for us.
It should maybe hopefully by April it should hopefully be good. Because that's when you do it, right?
Yep.
Before this break.
Yep.
So now you kind of put this together. What do you do different offensively through the years that you've done at different places? Because I know you've done different things, and I know with Walt you did different things, and now you're kind of taking that over. So tell me about your offense, what you do there at Papillion South.
I think when we're at Northwest, we used a tight end every once in a while, but we were 4 or 5 wide almost every time, trying to get first downs, trying to go tempo and no huddle and stuff. And oftentimes we'd move the ball, but we'd either stall out or I don't know, and got our kids tired on defense. And So fast forward now, we still, a lot of those principles are still the same, but I think we use more of a tight end for a couple reasons. Number one, we like it. Our offensive coordinator, Kevin O'Donnell, he really likes versatility of a tight end. But the second reason, we've had some pretty good tight ends over the last couple of years. So
Yes, you have.
we've got a kid down at K-State right now that just graduated a year or two ago. And then I guess maybe the third reason, defensively, that 11 personnel, as a defensive guy myself, it's pretty versatile personnel group where you could do a lot of different things. So you got 4 receivers on the field, but you also have that inline tight end. So
Helps you with the run game tremendously.
Yep. So yeah, I think that's sort of where we start. Not saying that we don't put 2 backs in or we don't spread it out more also, but that's usually where we start. And like you said, Coach Olson, a lot different under center, 2 backs, great offense. I love that offense too. But I think again, what I said earlier, you just have to sort of go with who you are and what you know. Coaching with Coach Sir way back to 05, 06, that's when he really started spreading it out, and I started seeing just everything that you could do off that read game type of stuff. So that's usually where we start.
You do a lot of RPOs and stuff like that still?
I think so, yeah. I think,
Gene was doing it before they even started it.
Yeah. Yep. No, he was. And he was, he was always ahead of where a lot of people were. And
Yes.
that was a good
example.
And a lot of the times it was out of necessity. I remember back then it was intriguing to him. It was something that he wanted to do, but going all the way back, it fit our personnel best back then. But yeah, definitely reading some things and currently, I just think, again, going back, I usually tend to be more on the defensive side. It's when that quarterback has different reads, it's it makes it tough on the defense.
Oh, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. So now I know you played at Peru and you were defensive back, right?
Yep.
So tell me about what your defensive history. What do you try to do on defense, and how have you fit your history and molded your defense to what you do now?
Yeah, I think probably over the years, again, out of necessity, also maybe out of stupidity, I've been a part of or tried a bunch of different schemes and different defenses. But I think we're at home with 4 hands on the ground. We sort of start there. And then the back end guys, we could do a bunch of different things. But usually 4 hands on the ground and some sort of 2 high safety is our starting point. And so you call it a 4-3, 4-2-5, something, it's easy for us to get into an 8-man front and with 1 high safety. But that's us, gap control, leverage type of defense. That's where we try to play to where I like it for us. We could tell a kid, you have a gap. You're not 2 gapping. We don't do a ton of slanting and stuff like that. So for me, it gives our kids, they know most of the time we could tell our kids before the ball snapped, you're going to make a left shoulder tackle here. If the ball comes your way, you should be making a right shoulder tackle based off of your leverage, based off of your responsibility. So to me, it simplifies things a little bit and just sort of fits me.
Okay. So what do you do much gaming with it and studying with it? I know there are times you used to, but do you still do that?
Yeah. So we're very lucky. We were able to hire Jared Crick as our defensive line coach this last.
How's he doing?
He's awesome.
Good deal.
He's awesome. He finished up playing in the league and he had back surgery, and he was sitting at home in Cozad and had the itch to coach high school football, and we got in touch. And it's a long story, but he coached for us this fall and did awesome for us. So he knows 10,000 times more about defensive line and those stunts and games and stuff than I ever will. So, he was able to get up on the board and show us some stuff. So we tried some new stuff this year, and it worked out pretty good. So
good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. So now, as far as your defense, the game has changed a little bit as far as the tackling. How have you adjusted your defense to the different styles of tackling now today that you teach and stuff compared to when you played?
Yeah.
It's changed that much since you played.
Yep. No, I agree. simply put, it was head across the body back
Right
in the
back
day.
then. I know we taught that. Yeah.
And that works, but it's it also it can get you into some issues. What they're teaching now with same foot, same shoulder, and leverage, it's safer. It works. It's honestly it's simpler to teach, but you really have to. The other guy has to have his leverage too. So the other guy has got to get off his block and get there as well. So. I think it's good. It's what we do. It has changed a little bit. I think we just have to continue. The stuff that we do in the off season, without pads, without anything, just footwork type stuff to make sure we're closing ground and using proper leverage and stuff like that. So I think it's more technique heavy. It's not as natural as the head across the body type stuff. So I think you just have to teach and work it more.
So do you get, how much drill time do you spend doing that?
I think we try to tackle every day at some point. I'm not saying we do a 15-minute tackle circuit, but usually we'll do a tackle circuit at the beginning of the week, and then in the practice plan we'll put even in a assistant coach's indie period, we'll put at least we'll put in there, hey, you need to spend some time tackling. How you work it in is up to you. So. The kids will get it, early in the week. They'll get it throughout Indy. We're always doing something, whether it's part of a pursuit drill. Obviously, during group and teamwork, we'll get it in there too. But it's like anything else. If you want to be good at it, you gotta devote time to it. And that was one thing this year. We definitely struggled in the tackling department. Definitely don't have all the answers by any means. It was something that we probably should have spent more time with because, as you know, this game's blocking and tackling.
It still is when it comes down to it.
Yep. You can drop whatever you want, but if you're not blocking and tackling, then you're going to have a long night. So that's going to be a huge focus for us going into next year.
Good deal. And so how many seniors do you have this year, Coach?
This past year we had 25 seniors, and looking into next year already, we have 38 juniors that are going to be seniors. So I hope that they all stay out. That's a big senior class.
That is a big senior class. How many got experience last year with you?
I would say a good number. I don't have a number off the top of my head, but we were young this year. Played a lot of sophomores and juniors. So yeah.
So you got a lot of returnees next year.
We should have a good
return your quarterback.
Yep, he was a sophomore this year. Really, we got all our quarterbacks that got experience. They're all back. So sophomore and 2 juniors. So should be in good shape in that position.
How about offensive line? Did you lose many of those kids?
We lost 3, so we got 2 back. But a couple other guys got some experience. So yeah, that's just such a key and important area, as you know. So we're going to devote a lot of time and energy into those guys this offseason.
So now, defensively, did you lose many guys off your defense this year, Coach?
I would say, about half, I think, is what it was. So, but we got a lot of young guys that, I know
contributed.
Contributed and are chomping at the bit, ready to go. So, they had success at the freshman level, JV level, so they should be ready to go. So I'm excited to get to work with them.
Super.
Yep.
So now, the guys that you've been with and I've known for a while, as far as your head coaches that you've mentored under, they're big weight room guys.
Yep.
I mean, they believe in that weight room. Walt was a big guy. So Gene was big because he never even left the weight room. I think when he taught.
Yep.
So what have you done? Because I know you've redone the weight room there.
Yep.
And it's really nice. So what do you do? What do you do different or the same compared to what you did back then?
Yeah. So we're
a player, coach. I mean, you've been around it. So
yeah, we're very blessed to have one of the best strength coaches in the state, in my opinion. His name's Kurt Pullman, and what he does with all of our kids is just absolutely phenomenal. But he's really big on flexibility and all that stuff. But then at the end of the day, he was a football guy. It comes down to moving weight. So he has a really good program and plan that he puts into place. Coach Olson would always say this about Coach Pullman is that Coach Pullman puts together the the programs and the percentages and all that stuff, and it sort of allows us to do some other things. At the same time, anything that we want or ask him to weave in, he always does that. So we have a really good relationship there. Our new PE classroom, that's an extension of our weight room, it should open up mid-January, so we're really excited about getting going on that. The kids
that's going to be nice.
Yeah. So it's going to extend into our weight room and open up a lot more racks, a lot more space and stuff like that. So, I just said that blocking and tackling is the DNA of football. Bench, squat, clean. I mean, deadlift. That's where it starts in the weight room. So we do all those things, obviously, and then Coach Pullman does a really good job with all the auxiliaries that we fit around.
What do you do now to, because I think the biggest thing compared to when I used to do it too, is the core still the core, but the thing I noticed that they do better nowadays is the transfer.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting those kids to do things other than just those core lifts to transfer out to the football field. So,
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Coach has all these extra contraptions and additions that hook onto the different racks and whatnot, and he's always trying to find functional things that transfer over to the field. So whether it's the one-armed press with the barbells that he's doing, and think of the old school jammer machine. Well, he's doing it with not just dumbbells and whatnot, but the barbell on the ground, and he's doing a bunch of different rows and stuff. So it's able to do the same things as what you're talking about, but just with the stuff that we have. So he's always thinking, and we're always thinking of how can what we're doing right now transfer over to the field. So he gets really creative when it comes to that.
I think that's good.
Yep.
So how much speed and agility do you do in the off season now with the kids?
Yeah, I think so. Between now and winter break, he's taken them through a metabolic cycle where he's a lot of reps, lower weight, so a lot of weight room stuff. So we don't really get into the speed and agility till after break.
When is break, Coach?
So that's usually second week of December.
Okay.
So we've got about another month yet, but once we come back from winter break, we'll get going with building that stuff, and foot speed is very important. So like I said, Coach Bowman's the man when it comes to that stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
So what does it look like for the future now that you've been there and you kind of built a foundation there? And tell us how does it look here coming down the line, Coach?
Yeah. No, we're excited, and talked about the Junior Titans a little bit ago. We're heavily involved with those guys, and we really invest in those guys. And with the investment, we're just seeing the growth, and we're seeing all that stuff pay off year to year. So it's taking time. It's a slow thing, but we got numbers. Kids are enjoying what they're doing. They're pretty skilled. Parents are on board. All that stuff. So we really started seeing it pay off. Like I said, about 2 years ago is when it really started taking off, and so a lot of those kids are current sophomores. They're going to be juniors next year. When they're freshmen, they won almost all their games. I think they went 6-1 against some really good competition. Got beat by a good Elkhorn South team, and so now those kids are sophomores. They're going to be juniors next year. So a lot of those guys got on the field this year. We've got a good class behind them. But don't sleep on our current juniors who are going to be seniors too. I don't want to overlook those guys. Like I said, we got 38 of them. Great kids, high character, ready to work and stuff. So a lot of them have already been coming to me and talking about next season, and they're excited to get started. So we're going to be doing some senior-led meetings here in December, and after having a tough year, people want to get things back on track, and it's good to see that those kids who are going to be seniors, they're ready to go and they're bought in. So it's going to be fun.
How close to that when you look now? So how many kids do you have? I was trying to think here. How many kids do you have that are just one sport athletes, or do you have how many do you keep that are with you all year round?
Yeah, not very many, and,
Okay.
and that's sort of how we like it. That's how our school like it. It's just a philosophy that we have. We push we push kids into winter and spring sports. So, a couple weeks ago, finished football. So now our eyes turn to winter sports, and we say, okay, are you going to wrestle? Are you going to play basketball?
Yeah.
And if the kids either don't make one of those teams or they don't really have a home, then we do have a good powerlifting team, a really good powerlifting team.
You've won the state before that, haven't
Yeah.
you? Yes, you have.
Yep. And again, that's Coach Pullman and Coach Wesson do an awesome job with that. And then when it comes spring, it's either baseball or soccer. If that's not who you are, then you're going to do track. So we try to, for as long as possible, try to push them to be three-sport athletes. I know it's hard this day and age, being a high-caliber three-sport athlete at the varsity level, but we've had a couple the last couple of years do that. And so we feel that competing on the field of play or on the court or whatever, there's no substitute for that competition. Yes, we'd love to have them in the weight room, but a lot of them, just about all of them, have a weight training class throughout the day that they're able to get their lifts in, then go compete on the wrestling mat, get their lifts in, then go play baseball. So
you try to get them in during the week then?
Yep. So,
If not, can they come in the morning usually and work out?
Yep. And especially now, we're adding that new extension of the weight room in that PE classroom. We're going to have more racks and more availability to get more kids into our weight training classes.
Awesome.
So it'll be good.
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, Coach, I really appreciate you spending the time coming out during this holiday season.
Yeah.
Wish you and your family and your teammates and your team a happy Thanksgiving and a Christmas and New Year and all that great stuff. And I really appreciate you coming out and spending time with Sideline Power here.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me.
And we're going to finish up. I'm not going to go crazy here but I'm just going to got to do it at the end. As a pro wrestler.
I know
for Gene Sir, baby. Gene Sir, this is for Gene. Hush, 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 hush. We'll see you next week.